Hey ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's Blue here again with another Power Rankings video, this time for the PML. That's the Paladins Minor League. Hope you watched the PCL Power Rankings for Week 4. If you didn't, go ahead and watch that one right after you finish watching this one, I guess. Or you can go ahead and go to that one straight away. But without further ado, let's get into those PML Power Rankings here at ConsoleProNews. All right, so at number 8, we have FiveStack Esports. FiveStack is new to the PML in Phase 2, and overall the players are new to competing, at least at this level, and showed little signs of success early on in relegations and Week 1 of the phase. However, since then they have been slowly sliding downhill. Beating Exile is still the only thing keeping them in third in the standings, and with the progress Exile is gaining, could be changing sometime very soon. FiveStack's had some problems. They've been getting 3-0'd as of recently in the last 2 weeks. And they're not looking as if they have a lot of fire underneath themselves. So they really need to pick it up. I think that Ice Monkey can gather this team. I think that this team does have some skill, and they are a LATAM representative. So hopefully those team dinners they're having together can eventually get this team going in the games. At number 7 is Penta. Penta was the best team in the world during the midseason invitational. Due to that success, the PPL took notice and snatched 3 of those players: Simsalou, K Crunchy, and Erase. This left Penta in a bit of a rough patch. Ovum is just as good as them, and Accenture had an amazing showing during MSI as well. However, Ovum has visa issues if he were to make a run for lands, let alone PPL. Accenture, according to some reports, has military obligations keeping him from making the jump to PPL full-time, and has been moved to the sub/coach role on Penta once more. Now, Ovum has been trying new things like bringing in Slopodopoulos from the PCL as the new DPS player. It seems things may be getting better for them as they aren't getting blasted 3-0 anymore. But they're still losing, especially when they were up 2-1 on All Business this week. At this point, playoffs aren't totally off the table, but very near if the rebuild doesn't happen ASAP. I think the best course of action for Penta is to try to get immediate results, because if not, then it's just a full rebuild throughout the course of the season and no shot at making the playoffs for this team. Remember, top 2 teams go for PML, I believe. I could be wrong. We'll have to check that. At number 6 is Exile. Putting Exile so high in this list is sort of difficult for me, especially with them being winless still. However, they continue to push the better teams in Sanguine and Hype Unit to 5 games. Each week they improve with their new lineup, and bringing in new blood like Amos, who has been doing some significant things early on in their career, is refreshing for the scene and the team as a whole, especially for people like Aspec, who has been around and has dabbed in both PPL and PML for a while now. People like Longshot in the lineup will hopefully return soon, and things will look or may look brighter for them once he comes back. Hopefully their next meeting versus FiveStack, though, goes their way this time. Moving on to number 5 is One Trick Pony. I had high hopes for this team after watching them play a ton of times in the community tournaments to prepare for relegations in hopes to make the PML, like the World Lure and the Paladins Community Cup. Loved watching them in those. They did fantastic, although they did have Uber Spady. Now, they just that, and then were served a big blow when aforementioned Uber Spady was being snagged away for Sauer team. That may have been a great move for him, but it left OTP in a bit of a hole, which they seem to be working a way out of slowly but surely. Nixus is the one who's stepping in as the main DPS player now, and he has had a few moments early on that look really good, especially on champs like Strix in his Timbermill game, most recently in Week 4 against Sauer team. Continuing to improve should be their first goal instead of winning. Once the improvements come, the wins will as well, and I have no doubt about that, as currently they already have been able to take maps off of All Business and Sauer team at a consistent rate. They just can't win the set when it comes down to crunch time. And they've pushed them to game 5. They've pushed Sauer team to game 5 twice, and they've only played them twice. So That's the good news for OTP. Keep going at it, boys. You're almost there. At number 4 is Sanguine. Sanguine is the perfect example of a middle pack team right now. They're not completely dominating teams, nor are they struggling to win most of the time, because they do win most of the time. Giving up maps to Exile, but yet taking max from Hype Unit is kind of middle ground to me. You know, Hype Unit displaying that they're the best team in North America, and you're taking maps off of them, but you're losing to them, and you're letting the worst team in the NA standings take maps from you, but you're still beating them. So it's kind of like you're in the middle. When I watch this team, I don't sit there saying, wow, or oh my God, very much. Usually I just say, oh, they lost, or oh, they won. Nothing to get excited about. Beating Hype Unit would be that exciting moment, as shutting out FiveStack 3-0 this week was more so standard clock in for the team. Just standard hours on the job, you might say. At number 3 is All Business. Now, this team has made significant strides so far in Phase 2, most of which has been some gambles they were willing to take. One of those were some roster changes, which ultimately bringing Bugsy back once he was able to play was amazing. He's back, and that adds a huge dynamic to this lineup, with them being able to deepen their drafts as a large amount. Trying Slopodopoulos out was risky, and even worse when he had to play main tank earlier. He didn't play it well, nor did he want to play it, and the team obviously understood both of those sides of the spectrum, so they had to let him go. This was obvious, and he's no longer there due to that. Coming back from a 2-1 against Penta isn't as impressive now as it would have been when Penta was the Phase 1 squad they had. But nonetheless, though, the PML is a tough group of teams, and All Business seems to be coming from behind all season and doing it very well at this current moment. At number 2 is Sauer team. Now, with the Penta issues and Blazing Hussars getting relegated, I had my money on Sauer being super dominant. That is not the case, however. Yes, they are currently in first place, and yes, they are currently undefeated in the standings. Still, they aren't as dominant, with the maps being taken off of them by pretty much everyone. After beating Penta 3-0 in week 1, Sauer has had to go the distance each week with grueling game 5s, twice by One Trick Pony, and the third by All Business. Picking up Uber Spady was a good move, especially with Ninu now joining Navi as a full-time main roster player. However, Perdo and most notably Sheepa have been having to carry most of the weight and always seem to be the ones making crazy plays to win those game 5s. Now, that's to be expected when you have other less world-renowned players making plays often. Then the entire team seems to improve, and a form of pressure is relieved from those quote-unquote Perdos and Sheepas, which is Perdo and Sheepa in the case. Sauer still looks good, just not as amazing as I expected. Fine-tuning some things could lead them to more convincing wins and slide them into that number 1 spot in the power rankings. Just finish sets faster, I guess. But they do look really good, just not as dominant as I would have expected they would be going into. And at number 1 is Hype Unit. By the way, Hype Unit is actually 4-0 in Smite, 4-0 in the PML, and 4-0, I think, in Console Smite. I don't know, but the Hype Unit is they're bringing the hype right now across everything. But right here, PML Hype Unit look good. Although they seem to be in the same spot as Sauer team with not being overly dominant and having to grind their way out of some tough spots and long, gruesome sets, they get the job done and look a little better than Sauer at the moment, in my opinion. For the longest time, EU has always looked better than NA for the most part, and it always seems to be proven time after time. This time around, at this current point in the season, I think Hype looks a little better than Sauer and gave them the number 1 spot for that. Mostly due to the roster they have been able to build, though. Sauer has some fresh EU PML blood, while Hype has been able to do just that and grab some previous PPL experience as well. Even being on such a team considered bad as the Pittsburgh Knights is still that learning experience. All Hype needs to do is clean up their sets, start to put teams away at a faster rate to really distance themselves from Sauer in the rankings. So which of the two will be able to do that first? Sauer, Hype? Who knows? Personally, I am a fan of Sauer, but Hype right now has got my number 1 spot. Those are your Paladins minor league. I know the video is a little short, but that's because there's only 8 teams instead of 16. like the PCL. But we're going to have some more videos coming your way here on the Console Pro News channel, whether it's for Paladins Minor League, Paladins Console League, or Paladins Premier League. We're still working on that as well. I know we said in the PCL video, it's going to be a little different because all the teams don't play every single week, so it's kind of hard to gauge your power rankings for them. But we'll think of something. We'll think of some content to put out for you guys. We're still watching all those games as well, so we still cover all of that. Don't forget to check out the website, consolecorner.co, for all your information on Paladins, Smite, and now we will be starting, hopefully, our coverage for National Amateur League. The league is a little wonky right now. Some teams not getting off to a hot start. But my name is Blue. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at ConsoleProNews. Subscribe to the channel below. I think it will be there, down there. I don't know. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the big thumbs up. Keep grinding. We'll see you guys later.